Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 broke but genius people. We all know that when you don't have much money, you can't buy certain luxuries. But depending on how crafty and smart you are, that's no problem. So here are some people who made up for their lack of money with their massive amount of creativity and genius. Before we get into it, why not subscribe and press the notification bell too? What are you waiting for? Coming in at number 10, we have hot tub. So we all love jacuzzis or hot tubs, but they're really only for the rich. Most hot tubs cost thousands of dollars, so broke people simply can't afford them. Well, it seems that's no problem for one family who had a wheelbarrow and a cheap blow-up pool. What these people did was make a fire in the wheelbarrow and then put it in their cheap pool. So the heat from the fire makes the metal on the wheelbarrow hot, and then that heats up the water. And you even get to look at a romantic fire while you relax in the hot tub. It may look kind of trashy, but hey, it works. Sure, it may not be the safest thing in the world, but it can save you a bunch of money. Honestly, if there was a choice between getting set on fire and saving thousands of dollars, then light me up. Next up is car AC. Okay, so most cars have air conditioning for when it gets hot, but the number one thing that breaks in cars always seems to be the AC. And when you're broke, it can be a big deal to get the AC fixed, as it's a cost some people can't bear. So one family spotted on a highway decided to get smart. They strapped a generator to the back of their old SUV, or as I like to call them, the Kendrick Lamar mom car. Anyway, these guys then hooked their generator up to one of those New York City air conditioning units. Now it may look kind of trashy and also very complicated, but if you already have an AC unit and a generator, then why not get creative and save money? What would you do if your Uber pulled up and looked like this? Now I don't know about you, but I would give it 5 stars for creativity. Next up is hot dog maker. So we all know those hot dog makers that Stores and Apu from The Simpsons have. Now some people have these in their homes or use an oven, but for college kids they can't afford an oven and they need to eat cheap food. So one genius, broke college student found a new way to cook cheap food for cheap. They grabbed a coffee maker and filled it with water and hot dogs. They could then cook like 8 hot dogs at once and even use the top part to store buns on. Life hack! Next up is barbecue. So we've just seen an awesome broke cooking method, but I think this one is my favorite. So one guy couldn't afford a barbecue, but he wanted to get out in the sun. Well, one thing he did have is an old disconnected toilet and a grill top, so his brain made the most obvious connection. He filled the old toilet with coal and put the grill top on top. They say your kitchen is dirtier than your toilet, but what if your kitchen is your toilet? But really, what would you do if you went to this guy's barbecue and you're munching away on some sausages and then look over and that's what he's cooking on? I would say, can I get some more? Next up is reverse sensor. So on some fancier cars they have reverse sensors that beep if you're going too close to things. Personally I find them annoying, but they can be handy if you're parking or getting out of a tight space. Well, one guy couldn't afford a fancy car that has that function, but what he could buy is one of those chickens that make a noise when you squeeze them. So the broke guy strapped one of these onto the back of his car. Then when he's reversing, the chicken will make a sound if he gets too close to another car, and also probably terrify whoever's walking by. Seriously, if I heard this, I'd think the guy just ran over a cat or something. But I guess it saves money, so it's a good idea. Next up, we have blender. So one day a broke guy had some sucre mousse. Okay, I have no idea what that is, but I'm guessing it's some kind of mousse dessert that you need to blend up. The only problem was he didn't have a blender, but what he did have is a drill and a pair of scissors. So most people will be asking, what could he do with them? Well, the guy attached the scissors to the drill and then used that to whip up his scarlet mousse thing. If you think about it, for someone who can't afford a blender, this isn't even a bad idea. I mean, you can make fruit smoothies with this, or even make dough for cake or cookies. Okay, I might secretly have to try this one out. Next up is SWINGSET. So when it comes to cars, they're very expensive, but some people have old scraps of cars laying around their house. And you can even buy scrap cars or parts of scrap cars for very cheap. Well, one person wanted to buy a swing set for their kids, but they didn't have the cash. So they grabbed half of a car and chained it up to a metal bar to make an awesome seat for his kids. Now this may seem kind of dangerous and trashy, but hey, it's cheap. And there's even leather seats. Come on, how many other swings have that? I just wonder what happened to the other half of this car. Next up is phone charger. Now whether you're broke or not, we all have this problem. Be honest, who else's charger looks like this? Yeah, it seems Apple just makes their chargers bad to break, so we have to buy more. Rich people can do this, but Apple sell them for like $15, and some people don't have that to spare. So one broke yet genius guy grabbed a bunch of spare batteries, some tape, some paper clips, and a car cigarette charger and connected them all up. Amazingly, this worked and charged his phone without him having to spend any money. Sure, it may not fit in your school bag that well, but there's no doubt this is a thrifty idea. Next up is toilet seat. So I don't really know how, but sometimes people's toilet seats break. Well, instead of falling into the bowl every time, one broke guy decided to do something about it. He didn't have the money, but like most people, he did have a broken lawn chair. I mean, come on, who doesn't have one of these old busted chairs? So the guy decided to cut a hole in the chair and then used that as a toilet seat. So now people don't have to fall into the bowl while using the toilet. However, this doesn't exactly look very comfortable, so I'd probably take my chances falling in. Next up is plunger. So we all know that sometimes toilets get blocked. Wow, we sure have had a lot of toilet related stuff in this video. But anyway, sometimes toilet plungers don't do the job, so you have to call a plumber. Well, one guy couldn't afford a plumber, so he decided to mod a toilet plunger in a hilarious way. He attached the toilet plunger to a pogo stick so he could bounce to get more power while plunging. Now I think this is pretty hilarious, but so much could go wrong here. But either way, this guy is definitely saving a ton of money in a genius, hilarious way. Check out the poll in the top right corner and vote for the most hilarious one on this list. And if you want more genius life hacks which aren't as stupid as these ones, then check out my second channel. There'll be a link to that channel up on screen in a minute, so check it out. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s for more amazing videos every day.